Welcome everyone to Hillcrest Connects, where we briefly want to share with you what it means to meet together as we catch a glimpse of what God is doing in and through our congregation. Today we're excited to have with us Parkor Thomas. He's here with us to share a little bit about his life and his ministry here at Hillcrest. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you here. So tell us a little bit about your history here with Hillcrest Church.
Hillcrest Church, oh boy, that goes back quite far. My family had come here long time ago when I was a kid. I remember being in the kids ministry, which was very different. There's so many more building upgrades now, so it's a little bit, I walk in and where the offices are now was where I used to go as a kid, and it's different for sure. And then youth group, I always remember coming here and stuff with lots of different, we've had so many different youth pastors in the past, and we had bounced around churches to churches for a little bit. And then the youth group was something I really connected with. And me and my brothers especially, we would come here, and that was something that really impacted us quite a bit, and really where my life started working towards living for the Lord. And this place actually ignited that. So a few years later now, I've started attending again, because I also have a fiance who comes here as well, which is awesome reason. And then I love the youth group, helping out the youth group and stuff. So I've done a whole circle, it's felt like, from start to finish. So and now I'm back.
Tell me a little bit about what you're doing in the church now.
So now I have been helping out at the youth group for a little bit. I started just at the beginning of this year, so I became a youth leader. And then I'm also part of the worship community as well. I play bass guitar, and so that is something absolutely I'm thankful to be a part of in this place with Wade and the teams that are here. It's amazing.
And tell us a little bit about your work. What is it that you do and what are you involved in?
So right now I work at a cafe called Mad Hatter Roastery. So I've been with barista there for about 2 years, and then I am a full-time student as well right now. So I'm in school to get my Bachelor of Education. So I'm 2 years down and 2 years to go. So starting up that right away here, pretty quick, and it'll be all online, which will be different. And I do a little bit of counseling with Medicine at Family Service in some evenings. We run a small group with some men. Okay.
So tell us what work's been like through this COVID season.
Oh, it caught me off guard. So first of all, when COVID came, I had no clue what was going on. And so my school got shut down right off the bat. They put out an announcement saying college is going online, which was very difficult and hard to adjust to. And then shortly after that, our business was able to operate, but it was too confusing to understand what was happening. So the cafe actually closed down. So then I was let go of my job, and it was different. I became a at-home dog dad. I had just got a puppy, so I had stopped working, and I was living at home caring for my puppy and doing school online. And so it was not what I expected at all. It was a total change to my life.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be challenging. So let's go back a little bit. You'd mentioned that you have a fiance.
I do.
So you've gone through this COVID season, and we're still going through this. What was the dating and the engagement like?
Oh boy, that was very different. We had met and we're getting to know each other, and I got to the point where I was like, okay, I need to ask this girl on a date. Like, this needs to happen. And right as that happened, conveniently, everything shuts down. And I'm like, no, wait, what? Everything's shutting down. Like, I can't take her out for dinner. I can't take her out for coffee. And so I had to get creative right from the get-go. And I ordered her a pound of coffee, got it delivered to her house, which it got delivered to the wrong house by accident. And then she had to snag it off their front porch, which was pretty funny. And we just scheduled a coffee, and we put FaceTime on, and we had coffee in front of a camera, and that was our first date. And then from that point on, it was lots of walks at distance, because we had to keep very good distance. So we would go on walks, and we would park our cars sort of side by side and talk through the window. And we learned how to play ukulele through the cars. We were trying to get really fun at how to do that stuff, where I'd go through a drive-through, buy my drink, and then hers, and then she would drive through and get the drink. And so we had to get pretty crafty with how can we get to know each other and learn. And lots of communication.
Yeah.
I think my phone said I was doing 12 hours a day of screen time just because we were FaceTiming or messaging or anything like that. And so lots and lots of technological use for communication.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's really neat. So Parker, share with us a little bit about the engagement.
So the engagement was different, interesting, and different. I ordered the ring, and I got it custom made and stuff, and it took a little bit longer than I expected to get that. But once I got that in, we planned this sort of getaway where we were going to go out at 5 a.m. to Elkwater, to this little Reeser lookout, and we wanted to watch the sunrise. So I was pretty much just waiting for the ring to come in so that I could be like, hey, let's go do that. So we got up at 3 a.m., we drove out there, absolutely just tired. Yeah. And we put out a blanket, and I set up a little camera with a little time lapse so that we were getting the sunrise. And then when the sun started getting closer, I said that, the lighting's going to change. I'll change it so that it will not be so exposed. And we sat down. I turned it to a normal video, and then I ended up proposing to her. And we got engaged, and I went to make coffee in the bush for her. And we went and had a family celebration, saw some family throughout the day and stuff, had a little party, and then pretty much did like our favorite things during the day. And so we got engaged and then just started wedding planning right away. We're just like, let's just do it. Let's get it over with.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. So tell us a little bit about what God is doing in your life and in your fiance's life.
Ooh, that's a good one. So I would say God in this season has been teaching us quite a bit of things, especially like we're diving into like marriage, obviously, because we're getting married. We're getting married in 11 days, which is soon. So we're trying to learn as much as we can. And we realize it's going to be a process, and it's going to be its own thing that me and her do with God. And so we're really seeking into like, what is a covenant, especially, and like, what does it mean to be a husband and wife in a biblical perspective? But apart from that, I would say something that we're both learning in this season is we're learning how to receive. And I think that's something that, like, we always receive, and we receive from God, and we receive from people. And sometimes we find it difficult to receive. I don't know, some people might find it difficult to receive. I think most people would rather give and put the view on someone else. But I think God has given us many opportunities where he's put either people in our life that are giving to us, and he's been teaching us how to receive with like no strings attached, and just for us to see almost his heart. Like, we've been seeing God's heart through a lot of the people that have been helping us during our home renovations and during our wedding preparations, where we always feel like we need to give back. And that's like almost our human nature, is like a transaction. You give to us, so we give back. And God's been showing us his heart through these people, in the sense of, I'm giving to you freely because I love you, because you're my children, because I'm a father, and I'm going to give you bread and not a rock. And so we've been learning to ask as well. So we're like, okay, God, well, if you're going to be blessing us in this season, we want to ask for things. We want to ask for your blessing and favor. And we've been seeing it like crazy through the ways that our wedding planning has been going on, our home renovations, how seamless they've been going. And it just took us almost humbling ourselves a little bit and not being proud, in the sense of, we need to be okay with asking for help, and we need to be okay with coming to God and being like, you know what, God, I'm stressed right now, or I'm broken, and I just need you to bring me peace right now. Even as simple as that, we've been reaching out to God in those senses as well.
Yeah, that's excellent. And taking all those thoughts together, what word of advice would you share with your church congregation, with your church family?
If I had to share anything with my church family, first and foremost, it would be to love the person in front of you, like unconditionally, like absolutely, just imagine how the Father would love them, to ask for God's heart for them. I think was the biggest thing in this season that we were experiencing, was how the person in front of us, whoever they are, to just love them, changed our lives so drastically. It really brought us into connection with God that much more, even in the little things where you're just like buying the person a coffee in front of you. And another one specifically through this season that I would say to encourage the church family with is to have hope always. And that whatever season it looks like, whatever change happens in your life, God is always there, and God is always working things for his good and for his glory. And we've seen that through a pandemic. We found love, we got engaged, we've drawn closer to God, we've been blessed immeasurably by him, it feels like, and by the community around us. And even in those darkest times where you think like everything's changing or different, or you're in the middle of a pandemic and you've lost your job, God pulls through, and God sees God sees your heart. God sees the needs that you have, and even if you don't ask for it, he's usually there and he's providing. And when you look back, you'll notice a lot of the time, oh, God was in that, or God was a part of that, or that was a weird coincidence. That couldn't have been just happenstance. That was a God thing.
Mm-hmm. Wise words. Thank you.
Thanks.
So before we finish talking together, maybe you could share with us, who's your fiance?
Kristen Carroll. So,
Kristen Carroll.
Yeah, she's the youth pastor here. Going to be Kristen Thomas. Oh, it sort of feels crazy. But yeah, so met her through the youth group here, and we're pretty excited. We're gearing up for the wedding. We're writing our itinerary for the wedding today, and we're like, oh. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Mm-hmm. Thanks for coming in. We sure appreciate it. It's been fun.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for having me.
And thank you for joining with us. To stay connected, sign up on Realm, follow us on our social media sites, or visit us at hillcrestchurch.net.